The New England Patriots head south for Week 1. The retooled Miami Dolphins await. Let the latest chapter in AFC East football roll on.
Come on, man. Come on.
The Kansas City Chiefs are roadbound to start 2022.
Fly around, play fast, play together. Let's go out there and dominate.
They're in Arizona, both teams with big expectations for the season.
I said it earlier in the week.
How's this for a Sunday night football opener? TB12 and the boys from Tampa on the road. Dallas opening things up at home. Major expectations for both these squads. The New England Patriots are still on the road for Week 2. They're in Pittsburgh taking on a Steelers team that won and lost all the same game. The Dallas Cowboys are at home again without their leader this time. They take on the Cincinnati Bengals, who are involved in one of the weirdest games you'll ever see. McPherson. The Green Bay Packers are at home this week, hoping their QB's supposed ownership and their opponent helps them right some things.
Pressure up the middle.
The Baltimore Ravens off to New England this week. They get the Patriots in a matchup between two teams that had almost nothing in common last week. The Patriots offense only putting up 17, but its defense holding court, only giving up 14.
Blown up, Jalen Warren.
The Green Bay Packers pack up their cheeseheads for a trip to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers, who are coming into this game feeling feisty.
Brady and Marshawn Lattimore, and then
the Denver Broncos are at home for Sunday Night Football in Week 3. They get the new look, old look San Francisco 49ers, who have settled the debate. Jimmy G is definitely our QB this year.
off the play fake.
Buffalo goes from one big AFC showdown to another. The Bills in Baltimore this week to take on the Ravens. Bills defense having to find a way to slow another hot QB down with their banged up secondary.
Jackson.
The New England Patriots head west to Lambeau. For Week 4, they get the Green Bay Packers, who would have no issue getting defensive against a hobbled club again, especially if it means eating another W at the end.
Here it is, game on.
The Kansas City Chiefs are on the road for Sunday Night Football this week with a new appreciation for special teams. They're in Tampa Bay taking on the Bucks, both teams having to forget the taste of a drink they call almost.
Here it is, game on the line.
The New England Patriots are at home for Week 5. Pats fans in for a treat because the Detroit Lions are in town. Sounds odd. If you're not watching Lions football each week, then let me tell you, you are missing out.
Throws deep left side.
The LA Rams are at home this week. Not sure if it'll feel like that, though. The Dallas Cowboys are in town. But who are they going to bring as the starting quarterback?
Elliott's wide.
The Baltimore Ravens are at home for Sunday Night Football this week, maybe reconsidering analytics football.
Ravens go for it on 4th and goal. Jackson fading. Jackson throws. Intercepted. Baltimore decides not to kick the field goal.
They take on interdivision rival Cincinnati in a key early season throwdown.
He throws it deep down the sideline.
The Cleveland Browns are at home this week. Last week coming up just short of a win again.
The rookie out of LSU missed it. Pushed it to the right.
They take on the New England Patriots, who feasted on a big fat donut in Week 5.
4th and inches. Inside.
Kansas City is back at home again. Chiefs Nation more than prepped for another thrilling finish after what they went through last week.
Looking for his third. He found it. Touchdown.
Monster matchup on deck. The Bills are in town, and based on how they looked recently, there are no tables left in Buffalo.
The wind. Way down the field.
The NFC East is back, baby, and the Cowboys and Eagles are part of the resurgence, both fresh off big wins, on a crash course for Sunday night with bragging rights and the division lead on the line. The Carolina Panthers are at home this week, welcoming in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, two teams needing to get right now.
Under pressure.
The San Francisco 49ers are at home for Week 7, Kansas City making the trip west, both teams coming off losses, the Chiefs hoping theirs was nothing more than a reflection of their opponent.
Intercept.
Sunday Night Football, Week 7, Miami Dolphins at home, ready to get back on track now that their QB is back.
Under by Loa, blocked by Armstead. Going deep.
Heading into Halloween weekend for Week 8 of the NFL season, and you can forgive Cowboys and Bears fans for trying to decide if their team is the trick or the treat.
Here's one floated for Smith.
Nothing to see here, people. Just the 6-1 New York Giants flying to the Northwest after pulling the tackle 2.0.
Fires it to the end zone.
Nice Sunday night football matchup for all of us to enjoy. The Green Bay Packers on the road in Buffalo, trying to stop an offense as good as there is in the game.
Sees that one-on-one.
The Indianapolis Colts are in desperation, though, as they head to New England. They take on a Patriots club that may be last in their division, but they're back to Jerry Seinfeld land, even Steven.
Rush is coming. Wilson.
Colossal Week 9 matchup between two preseason Super Bowl favorites. The 2020 Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Fly around, make plays, do what we do it all season. And we're going to be world champs.
Facing off with the 2021 Super Bowl champion LA Rams.
Let's go. Don't let up. Don't let up. They scared.
Tom Brady, the GOAT, is legendary. The Kansas City Chiefs are at home this week, had Week 8 off. They welcome a familiar foe, the Tennessee Titans, whose offense has a familiar look. This is the game of the week. The Buffalo Bills are at home, a little wobbly after taking an unexpected L in Week 9.
And the Jets.
The Dallas Cowboys hit the road after their bye. This one means a little something extra. They are in Green Bay, ready for a good old-fashioned revenge match. The San Francisco 49ers are at home after their much-needed week of rest. The LA Chargers heading up I-5, coming off a win. A very, very fortunate win. This is AFC East beef at its finest. Time to add the next chapter of the Jets-Patriots rivalry, a book that already includes tales of betrayal.
I've decided to resign as the head.
The Dallas Cowboys are heading north Week 11, huge matchup with the Minnesota Vikings, who showed they don't need Stephon Diggs on their team to pull off a miracle. They just need him on the field.
Cousins to the sideline.
LA is at home for Sunday Night Football this week. The division-leading Kansas City Chiefs are in town, which means the Chargers secondary is going to be on center stage. The Cleveland Browns are at home this week, taking on the rest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are hoping their European vacation leads to a better follow-up than the one we saw on the big screen back in the day.
At the 25.
The LA Rams limp their way east this week.
Hey, these are some challenging times, but you can't jump off the roller coaster.
They draw the Kansas City Chiefs, a game that was supposed to be a Sunday Night Football flex candidate. Well, the Chiefs are still flexing at least.
Mahomes crossing pattern cut.
The Green Bay Packers are on the road for Sunday Night Football in Philadelphia, facing an Eagles squad back to fly, Eagles flying.
Hurts will run, takes it in.
The New York Jets fly into Minnesota this week. That's right, they're coming in through the skies. From one playoff rematch to another, the Cincinnati Bengals, fresh off a heavyweight bout with the Titans, didn't win it with a knockout punch, but if your opponent knocks themselves out, not much you can do.
Flag down. Personal foul.
The Indianapolis Colts are off to Jerry's World this week, taking on the Dallas Cowboys, whose new slogan might be, how about that Cowboys run game?
Ezekiel Elliott, we've talked about him.
Let's do it. All right, let's go. I love you. Let's go.
The Giants are at home this week. Classic NFC East face-off. They get the Philadelphia Eagles sitting on top of the NFL mountain. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers head west this week, TV12, back to his old stomping ground to face a quarterback who was born just months before Brady was drafted.
He's going to throw out right.
This is the game they flexed into the Sunday Night Football slot. The Miami Dolphins coming in off a loss to Brock Purdy.
Purdy going to throw on the run. It is.
The New York Jets are at home licking their wounds after being grounded again. It's not going to be easy getting back in the air against the visiting team. Dan Campbell looking more and more like a master of puppets with each passing week.
They know when they...
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at home for Week 15, back under the 500 line.
Throws high. It's intercepted.
Time for what? Quarter number 6 between these two? Guess it wouldn't be a quarter then, but the last time Washington played, it was against the New York Giants. And when they all walked off the field, sisters were cranking Iron Maiden everywhere and running for the hills.
From 58.
The Seattle Seahawks are on the road for Christmas Eve in Kansas City to take on a Chiefs club, still vying for home field advantage come playoff time.
McKinnon, Brown.
There would be less tension on Christmas at the Griswolds than there will be for this game. Dallas at home, having to put aside what might have or should have been.
The Jags are gonna win it!
The Steelers are at home with heavy hearts this week. They welcome the Raiders to town 50 years after one of the most iconic plays in NFL history. The Miami Dolphins are at home for Christmas, thawing out, welcoming the Green Bay Packers, still with plenty of motivation to try and get another W. They might need a defensive performance similar to the one they got last week to get it.
Mayfield, Atwell.
Rams house. Remember the 2021 season? Remember Reagan? Remember AD? Remember Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp? Oh, you remember? That was fantastic.
And somebody early in the game wrote to their chest, let them know it's gonna be a long day now. Let's go.
Broncos country. Remember John Elway? Remember Peyton? Remember Dagobah? That's where Yoda lives. Remember Yoda?
Let's get it. Let's go. Set the tone. Set the...
The Arizona Cardinals get to spend Christmas at home, but on the field. They play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, losers of 3 of their last 4, 2 games under 500, still in first place. The NFC South is like the Jelly of the Month Club. It's the gift that keeps on giving if you're a 45-year-old Tom Brady.
Hey, it ain't that hard, bro.
It's a Week 1 AFC East rematch. The Patriots at home for New Year's Day, trying to avenge their early season loss to Miami. The Dolphins clinging to the last wildcard spot in the AFC, mired in a 4-game losing streak.
Over the sideline.
The Minnesota Vikings take to the road for New Year's Day, Skull faithful, hoping the clock striking midnight on 2022 doesn't mean that fairy godmother lady comes knocking. It's a game so good they had to flex for it. Pittsburgh Steelers, winners of 4 of their last 5 games, now back in the playoff picture because of it, getting in the ring with the Baltimore Ravens again, winners of 7 of their last 9.
4-yard touchdown.
The New England Patriots off to Buffalo for the last week of the year. Playoffs are on the line for them, taking on the Bills, who have to try and focus after going through an emotional experience that can't really be put into words. The Patriots win this week. They made the playoffs. These two played each other about a month ago. Recent enough, it's still somewhat relevant. Bills defense led them to the win, 24-10 in Week 13. The key, holding New England to 3 for 12 on 3rd down.
3rd and inches. They packed the line. The Eagles are going to find themselves playing what they hoped they wouldn't, and that is a meaningful Week 18 game against the Giants.
The Philadelphia Eagles are at home to wrap up 2022. They have some unfinished business after losing their 2nd in a row.
I'm not ever going to be somebody that is going to hit a panic button.
When is the last time a Detroit-Green Bay game late in the year had this kind of a vibe?
As far as where we're at right now, it doesn't get any better than this.
Lions at Lambeau to face the Packers, who make the dance if they win.
When you start to believe something strongly, that some miraculous things can happen.
The Pack, the only ones who control their destiny in the NFC when it comes to unwrapping the last golden playoff ticket.
I'm so proud of you guys. I'm getting really emotional right now.
Lions have to win this one and hope for an upset on the West Coast. Motivation not an issue for either team.